Garrick, getting towards the business end of the season now, what did you learn from the loss against Richmond?
Yeah, well, they're a good side. They played some good footy, and we overused the ball a little bit. I think we handballed a bit too much and weren't able to use the ball as well as we would have liked, and got beaten in the contested ball and stoppages. So we knew that that's going to be a strength of theirs, their stoppage work, and they were on top of us during the day. So that's a couple of things we've taken out of it. We've got our main review coming up, so we'll find a bit more then.
There's a lot been talking about you've run home. Some say it's a bit of a soft draw or an easier draw. I know that you probably don't agree. How do you look at the 6 games to go before the finals?
Well, there's no easy game of footy for us at all, and you can say there's people that win all the time that some people think probably shouldn't, and Adelaide played a fantastic game on the weekend against Geelong, and people were saying that Geelong are probably the premier team in the competition. So there's no easy game for us at all, and we take every 1 week at a time.
Where did you see their strengths on the weekend against Geelong?
Well, I didn't see the game, so I can't really comment at the moment.
Okay, cool. And just in general, the Crows' form then, as you said, probably people wouldn't have expected them to win that one, but they can pop up any time.
Yeah, obviously I didn't see the game, and they have had some good players out throughout the season, Taylor Walker and Paddy Dangerfield, and still to be able to get the job done the way they did against a fantastic side like Geelong, they've obviously got plenty of depth and they can play some good footy, so we're definitely not taking them lightly. And
with Dangerfield out, who then becomes the main target for them?
I don't really know. That's something we'll speak about later on in the week. It could be, I don't know, Thompson, anyone like that. Sloan's got on top of us before, so it could be any number of guys that we'll find out later in the week.
Ross said last night on radio that, talking about you guys, the players, that you wouldn't want to let up in training this week. Does it feel like you've been put on notice a bit that you need to play for your spots right now?
Yeah, that's always the case, and we hope to train the way that we play. So training is a massive thing for us every week, and we treat it with the utmost respect, and we give it everything we've got at training to make sure that we're doing everything we can to make sure we're playing that way. So there's never any time when guys think that they're safe in the team, and that's probably a big strength of ours. We've got guys pushing for spots from the waffle, and everyone's going to be putting their best foot forward.
It looks like Sandy will be back this week.
I'm not sure, maybe. It looks like he's been training really well, and got Subs and a few other guys have been doing some good work on the track, but that's a sort of a team selection thing for the coaches, not so much me.
Was there a reason, do you think, for the poor skills? I mean, there was just some sort of fundamental errors that seemed to creep in, not backing off the mark.
Yeah.
Are you going through a heavy training workload or something that might have affected?
No, there's nothing. I mean, we had maybe 6 or 7 that we just didn't back off the mark, like you said. It's something simple and it's basics, and it's not anything that's been going on the track. We're not sort of being worked too hard that we can't get back off the mark. That's something that's really simple, and anyone can do that. It's just that we weren't getting it done on the weekend. It's basic stuff, and it's something that we can hopefully turn around this week.
As disappointing as the loss is there an internal confidence there that you had so many guys out and you played really poorly, and yet you were still in touch in the second half against Richmond?
Yeah, we're always confident that we've got the list that we can compete with any side in the competition, and we didn't play our best footy on the weekend, that's for sure, but I think we were sort of down by 8 or 10 points at one point in the game, and we've always got confidence that we can match it with teams, and we know that if we're playing our best footy, regardless of who's out there, that we can always compete. So we've got a few guys to come back with this week, but we always want to make sure that we're competitive in every game we play, regardless of who's out there.
How did you handle earlier in the year when it looked like you were a solid player in the back line and you were dropped to the start of the year into the waffle? How have you handled that, and how good has it been for you coming back?
Yeah, earlier in the season I did play some footy with East Fremantle, and I spoke to Ross, and we had a pretty honest chat about what was going on and what he thought was I needed to focus on to really make sure that I'm contributing to the footy club in the best way possible. And look, I spent 4 or 5 weeks back there really focusing and trying hard to make sure I can get back in the team, and now that I'm here I'm definitely not going to relax, and I know from experience how easy it is to be out of the team, and that's the number one thing now, to make sure that now that I'm back that I am giving everything I can give, and that I'm doing everything I can to make the team improve.
And since you've been spoken about in terms of the All Australian team, that sort of form you've been in, what do you put that down to? Do you think it's the best form you've been in your career, or?
Well, that's a speculation, some people's point of view. Like I said, I missed a lot of footy at the start of the season. I think people tend to forget that a little bit, and I have improved in some areas, but there's definitely a lot that I have to still improve on. So I have played some reasonable footy, but I've got a long way to go, and I have to make sure that I keep doing it week in and week out.
Where do you think the biggest improvements come for you personally?
I think I've spent a lot of time in the back line this year, and I've been able to train and be in all the meetings that way and really focus on my attack on the footy. And I've worked a lot with Michael Johnson and Paul Duffield and guys who have been in the back line for a long time and focusing on sort of reading the play and helping out each other a little bit there. So probably my attack on the footy is probably the one thing I've really focused on.
And just in terms of the change in positions from last season, is that a role you prefer, or did you like the midfield?
Look, I like playing anywhere, but I did play a lot of defence growing up as a junior, and it's somewhere that I was probably more comfortable with. And last year I played a bit of wing and a bit of defence and was going to a few meetings and playing back and forward a little bit. So I like the stability of playing in the back line and knowing the guys who are going to play. It's 6 or 7 guys that have played pretty consistently in that area, so it's good to be able to get a bit of continuity and sort of get to know the guys you're playing with.
Was Ross pretty hard on you in that chat you said you had with him about your position in the team and where you're going from there?
I don't think he was hard on me at all. He was honest, and that's probably the most important thing. I really appreciated the fact that he was really honest with me, and it made it sort of the easiest for me to improve, knowing that I knew exactly what he wanted and he knew the places that he wanted me to improve so I could play the best footy that I could. So he wasn't hard on me at all, he was really honest.
How important is it for players to have a clearly defined role? How much harder is it looking back, knowing that you were a utility playing different roles week to week and now having a clearly defined role each week?
I think it really helps to know exactly what the coach wants from each player and the playing group. I think it makes it a lot easier when there's no grey area, and he can hold all the players to account. If he knows, we all know exactly what he wants, that there's no sort of, I thought that he wanted this and he thought something else. So it makes it really easy when he's honest.
And so just the difference in your week when you speak about you went to certain meetings. So obviously you have your line meetings. What's the difference in the week? You said you had to go to a whole lot last year and...
We have team meetings, which is obviously everyone all together, but then we split into sort of backs and mids and that sort of thing.
And
so
just all the information, if you're going to all of those?
Yeah, it's not like an information overload or anything like that. I was just saying that it's when you play in the backline for a whole year, you sort of get to know each other and you listen to all the meetings and you're in the same sort of environment all the time. So it's not that I was getting overloaded with information. It's just nice to have the same sort of meeting like each week.
Is it, you seem to be really good at it, but to juggle locking down on a player but also going for those intercept marks when they're there to be taken, it seems like there's a number of you who can do it. How do you know when to go and when to not to go? Is it something developed at training, as you said, or?
We do practice a little bit like that, but it's something on a game day that's really quite sort of moment by moment. We have a lot of guys that can play that sort of role, Michael Johnson and Paul Duffield, as I said, and I've been practicing a little bit this year, and it's something that you never know what really is going to happen in the game, and you sort of try and each time, moment by moment, just try and pick it up. So it's something you can sort of practice at training, but you can't really.
So it's something that comes naturally to you?
Well, it's sort of hard to say. I have spent a lot of time sort of doing it. That's what I'm going back to with the practicing and being more specific with defensive sort of stuff. So I can still, I watch a lot of tapes and we watch a lot about the opposition and players and different things that they do and different ways they attack. So we sort of get a bit of a preparation before we go out, but a lot of the time things can change, and yeah, it's just sort of something we can practice a little bit.
Garrick, you're the third or fourth doctor, I think, to mention this year the importance of Michael Johnson's leadership. Can you tell us how good a leader he is and how underrated he is as a leader?
Yeah, well, I definitely don't think he's sort of underrated at all. He's a fantastic player, and he's outstanding for us when he's on the field. Him and Lukey Mack and Zach Dawson as well, who's played a lot of footy. To have those guys in and around sort of on the footy field, things happen really quickly, and to have someone like Michael Johnson or Luke McFarlane, who's been there before a lot of the time and has experienced those sort of things, and to have him there really helps to focus, so that I can think about sort of my opponent and little things, whereas Jono's helping me and Dawson and Duff and everybody else. So yeah, he's fantastic for us.
Is he a leader by example more so than by talking?
He is a leader by example, but he is quite vocal on and off the field. He's a really good guy around here. He's experienced and he's good with a lot of our younger players. So on the field he's fantastic, but off the field he's good too.
How do you feel the defence has coped without Luke in the team the past couple of weeks?
Obviously we'd like to have Luke in the team. He's a really strong defender for us and he has been for a long time, but we sort of pride ourselves on being able to fill those roles when we can. Zach Dawson, I thought, played a really good game on the weekend. Jack Rewell kicked 4 goals. I think he had a couple, at least where kicked one into the man on the mark and he took off and kicked a goal that way. So I think we've got the guys to cover, but yeah, he's a fantastic player, Luke.